Morning, everyone. So today is Wednesday before Maine Maple Sunday Weekend, and I've been kind of getting ready all week. We did boil last night, made about 15 gallons off of 1,400 gallons of sap. Our sugar content has been absolute trash at like 1%, but it's still making good syrup. That was 3 days worth of sap that we held just to kind of have enough, and I had a couple tours going, so I needed some sap for those. But this morning, I'm gonna get that syrup bottled up, clean the sugar house a little bit, and then keep working to get ready for Maine Maple Sunday. The weather's looking like it's gonna be crap for Saturday, which is typical. But then Sunday looks like it's gonna be decent, but they've changed the forecast about every 6 hours. So we're kind of gonna just roll with it, but let's get this done. Gotta get cleaned up from last night. These guys that come here and like to have a good time, you know. I don't really appreciate people having a good time in my sugar house. I don't plan on boiling the rest of the week. It's gonna get cold, and I also need to save sap because we just boil raw sap on Maple Weekend. So I'm gonna save whatever sap we get today, Thursday, Friday for this weekend. But we were boiling on the left side last night, and I wanna get this thing swapped over to the right side. We boil on the right side for Maple Weekend, or really any events other than tours, because it's closer to the finisher with the syrup, so we don't have to carry it as far, and it just gives us a little bit more room with tours coming around that side to be able to look in, where this side we don't get a lot of people that come up on this side. It's just too tight with the guys that are running the rig, and it's just people don't go over there. So I'm gonna get the rig swapped over. First I gotta take and swap over the raw sap side, that way it goes in the right side. Just here getting the filter press ready, and I looked down and the high pressure hose was hanging so it would drain. I probably ought to hook that up before put more syrup on the floor. I'm kind of good at that. I made maple peanuts earlier in the week and maple cashews. If you guys aren't using the liter paddle machine to make maple nuts, you're working way too hard. It can be used to make cream, sugar, and I just use it for nuts because it's just easier. So I made maple butter yesterday. I gotta make some more today. I think we're gonna run out of that because that stuff is pretty damn good. So I'll get that finished up today. Cream is ready. All the confections are ready except for that last batch of maple butter I have to make today. So we're not sitting too bad. It's just the weather for this weekend that's gonna be the challenge. But we get a few things up our sleeve that we're gonna do to make it a little bit easier on us, because really that's what matters. Look at that, right on the money for once. We were drawn a little bit thin to begin with, chasing the temperature last night, so by the time we get done, it came out right on the money, which is pretty nice when it comes out right where you want it. Generally, we end up a little bit over dense, but we're right on the money right now. We'll take that. The syrup from last night wasn't crazy dirty, but dirty enough that with a full finisher, I didn't want to mess around and have to break it down. So I'm running all 5 frames in the press today. In the past, got a couple questions on what I use when I only run like 3 frames or 4 frames. It's just a metal blocker plate that you drop in, but you've got to put it after a screen plate so that you can still filter on both sides of that hollow plate. But that works. But today, where it was kind of end of the season syrup and looked a little dirtier than we've had in the past, we do that way I can just put more filter rate in and not have this thing jam up, which the pressure's climbing, so I'll probably put a little bit more in. The nice thing about having a 15-gallon-ish finisher and an 18-gallon water jacket is I can get the whole batch up at once. Now there's a little bit left in the press that I just didn't push out, and that's because I'll blow bubbles up there and make a mess. It'll splash out. So what I'll do is I'll pull off a bunch, get it to where that tube is down or it's above the syrup. Then I'll blow the rest of that out just with the pressure, and then push the sweets out of it. But give this a minute. The water was still a little bit cold in there, so it's going to take a couple minutes to heat that back up because it cooled the syrup off a little bit. But now I'm going to go get that glass, get it down here because I'm putting everything in glass today. While that syrup's heating up, I got to run and change a battery on one of the solar panel systems. It was sunny all day and nice, and I got there last night and the battery was weak. And it's like, this doesn't make any sense. It's not overly warm today, and I don't expect it to run much, but I didn't change that battery last night because I wasn't sure how bad the other one would be. Well, the other one was fine, but I wasn't going back. So change this now, go to the post office. Just, these solar panel systems are great, but they're killing me. They're stressing me out because they're too maintenance heavy for what I've got for time as far as swapping batteries and all this other crap. So looking at options to do something different for next year, but we'll know more after the season on those. $250 leaves tell me that they don't look amazing. They're like the perfect size for gifts, anything. But one of my favorites. So I'm going to check yesterday's syrup with the Hannah grater and see where it is. With the sight glass, it's rated at an amber still, but the flavor is a little bit darker than that. So check it with this and see where we end up. 65. Yeah, it's still an amber. Syrup's bottled. Time to make some butter, but first, lunch break. Today, leftovers, because why not when you're home and you got a few minutes? Meatloaf, mashed taters, and broccoli. I don't always eat crap. Well, most of the time. All right, morning everyone. Day 2 of getting ready for Maple Weekend. Today's Thursday. I got thinking last night, I'm like, we get a lot of requests for very dark syrup, and I've got some sitting in the barn from last year. Why wouldn't I bottle it up? So this morning I got up, got the tractor going, I've got a 30-gallon barrel here. I'm gonna do half of it. I don't think I'll need all of it, but after Maple Weekend, I'll do the rest of it. So I'm gonna do 15 gallons-ish today. Water jacket's warming up already. That's heating up. But while I get a few minutes, this is still filling the syrup. It's only 60 degrees. It was 40 coming out of the barrel. I'm gonna get some other stuff ready here. The tractor's out and warm, so I might just as well. The weather forecast keeps getting better for us here. We got like a coating of snow last night, and it's 26 degrees, I think, right now with the wind blowing, so it's really awesome outside. But they're calling for 3 to 5 inches of snow Saturday, well, really Friday night into Saturday, and then turning to rain. Then it's supposed to be decent on Sunday, like 38 degrees, I think, but it's supposed to be windy. So we're not going to catch a break. This one's going to be a hard one, but it'll be fine. I'm just going to make a few phone calls, have a sand truck on the ready, and changing things around a little bit. And then looking forward for next year, there's a few other projects that are going to come into play that'll just make things that much easier too. So yeah, we'll get to it. I didn't boil last night because I'm trying to hold sap for this weekend because I just know that we're not gonna get enough. But I went down back and looked, and the top of that tank is slushing over, so that tells me that I need to get my button gear and get out here and haul sap, because if not, they're gonna be blocks of ice. It's just not gonna get warmer, and it's gonna get colder tonight. So get the truck warmed up because it's cold. It's blowing a gale out here right now. It's got to be blowing 35 anyways, so it's less than awesome today, to say the least. Cummins don't mind though. All right, heading out to haul sap. I grabbed a little snack before I left the house. I got some Nutty Bars and some whatever these things are, some sort of kids cake thing that I stole from the kids. And, well, you know, they'll stand by a high test Pepsi. I know this probably isn't worth hauling the sap today at the small woods because there's just not a lot there, but one of them says it's got 60 gallons, so that'll help get through, you know, half hour, 45 minutes this weekend of boiling. So we'll take every bit we can today, but I'm nervous that some of these pump out lines are going to be froze up because I didn't do a great job draining them out the other day, but we'll find out. So there's a decent amount of sap here. It's not froze, but the valve is, and when I tried to open it, it just broke one side of it off. So I'll go with the torch so that we can get this thing thawed out enough to be able to haul sap, which is awesome. So I can guarantee this off season, those valves are getting changed out for stainless steel pipe and valve, because I'm done playing this game. I just want to be able to put the torch on it and let her eat, because this game of playing, not trying to burn up the valve, is definitely a pain. I was able to get the hill loaded. That just needed, the valve actually opened, it didn't even need any heat, and then just hit it with a screwdriver up inside it and it started flowing, and that one pumped out. It was a little bit of a blockage in the pump out line, but that cleared itself, and there, that's it for the fighting. Hopefully the big woods should be easy, and I think the home woods will be too, but we're gonna find out. I mean, I just probably jinxed myself, but that's typical. So about 100 gallons out of those two woods, and then I think there's 3 sitting here, maybe something like that, but see how this goes. This could be a real pain too. Got a decent amount in here, probably, like I said, probably 300 gallons, so probably a 400 total. That should get us through most of the day. I'm gonna really choke the evaporator back on Saturday, and then hopefully it runs a little bit Saturday night, but I'm not crossing my fingers on that. 1.1-ish. I was coming down here and all of a sudden I thought it was a cat. Nope, it's a raccoon. And he's gonna see how high he can get in the tree, but I gotta get sap pumped. Of course, leave it to just before Maple Weekend to have one of the vacuum monitors have a battery issue, so I'm headed up in right now, but this also gives me a chance to kind of check on a few problem spots and just make sure everything's good. But I still got the tracks on the four-wheeler, and well, oh well. So not only did I lose a screw when I was taking the cover off, because, well, why wouldn't you, into the leaves, but I brought the wrong cord on the battery pack to charge this thing, so now I either get to come back or just say screw it, and I haven't decided which yet. I went with screw it. I don't have enough time before we gotta go shopping to pick up everything for the pancake breakfast, so I'm not gonna deal with that thing. It shows on the indicator that it's charging off the solar panel that's on it. I flipped the switch on and off, the lights came on, I don't know. I checked and the monitor above that is reporting in it, which is really what I need to see is that one, so I don't know, I'll fight with that thing next week. I don't have time right now. I know I said screw it, but here I am headed back up in because I got the right cable now, I think. So I'm going to try and get this in because it did report in and it said 9% battery. So it's a battery issue, not anything else. So I'm going to try and get this thing charging. So it's 5 o'clock now, and Channel 13 called the other day and they want to do a live segment this morning. So I better get ready because I didn't get ready last night. So I got a few things to get ready. I'm going to try and boil sap, but it's 22 out right now and I need to make sure we don't burn the place down because I'm not sure on if everything's going to move as far as the sap.
Behind the scenes at Dunn Family Maple in Buxton. And Scott Dunn, thanks for having us this morning and showing us what Maple Weekend's all about. You lit this up about an hour ago, so what's the process sort of an hour later?
So we add firewood every 5 minutes.
Okay.
That way we can keep a consistent heat level inside the evaporator and we start making syrup consistently. So once we start making syrup, it's just making syrup, put more wood in and just kind of follow that rotation until we're out of sap.
Definitely keep going through that cycle, and it's going to be great this weekend. Despite the forecast, we're not going to keep people from going and enjoying the weekend.
No, it's going to be a great weekend. MaineMapleProducers.com has a complete list.
Everyone, happy Friday. That's fresh and delicious. Thank you very much.
We've got most everything done now. I didn't film it because we were in a hurry. But checkout area, we took the doors off the four-wheeler shed. So the four-wheeler has to spend the night outside. It'll be okay, don't worry. But checkout's gonna be inside. I'll just shut the vacuum pump off. When we're there, it is what it is as far as that goes. Then down here in the barn, this is gonna be the sales area. We're gonna take and have everything set up in here so at the end of the night we can just close the door. People stay dry when they're shopping. It's just gonna be better-ish. But with that means the tractor has to stay outside too, which I'm not happy about that one. I mean, it's already had an argument with me saying that it deserves to be inside, and you're gonna be okay, trust me, you'll be fine. It's only one night, well, maybe two. But tent's up. One of my buddies, he had that tent, so we got that up. Picnic tables and the rest of the seating areas in there. So donut machine's not getting set up till the morning with the tent because we don't need to collapse an easy up because of 4 inches of snow, even though we're not getting any snow. That's my goal anyways. Mike and Diane, they're making cotton candy. Sugar House is a busy place, but it'll be ready shortly. I've got to go to town now, pick a bunch of stuff up, get propane, get change, pick up some folding chairs, that type of thing, and I'll probably find a nice healthy lunch someplace and get back and get this place the rest of the way picked up. Oh, I gotta get ice too for the CL smoothies. So here we are, the start of Maine Maple Sunday Weekend, and it's like a winter wonderland out here right now. They're saying we're gonna get 2 to 5 inches. My hunch is we're gonna be on the high side of that. There's already maybe a ½ inch on the ground, maybe an inch, not quite. It's not gonna be awesome, but it's about maple, so that's awesome. Sugar House is all cleaned up, ready to go. We gotta get some tents set up. Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge today, but everyone's gonna be here about 7 and we should be able to get everything thrown up and ready to go pretty quick. And I think I'm gonna spend some time on the old John Deere doing a little plowing today, is my hunch. But we'll make the best of it. So now you just gotta pay attention to the Maple Sunday video. So we'll see you next time.